Everybody, and welcome to another installment of Todd Talk, a presentation of Oklahoma Baptist University's Athletic Department of Communication. I'm Todd Miller. Today we talk OBU men's basketball with Antonio Wade, who 2 seasons ago was named the Great American Conference Men's Newcomer of the Year. Antonio, it's great to see you, my friend. What have you been up to since we've last talked?
Just working out and trying to stay ready for my opportunity.
We'll talk about that opportunity in just a moment, but let's talk more about your journey at the outset as to how you've reached this point in your career. You're a native of Georgia. You played at Young Harris College and then found your way to Bison Hill for your final year of collegiate basketball. How did all that shake out for you? And it looks like the move has paid dividends very, very well.
Yes, it has. So I had a coach that retired after my junior season. And going into my senior season, I wanted to make sure I had somebody that I could trust and play my best basketball under. So I knew Coach Aker through one of my former coaches in junior college, and we kind of mended a relationship through that. And I just felt like Coach Aker was the guy.
There obviously has to be a large amount of trust, I would think, between you and Jason Aker, because he's asking you basically to come halfway across the country for one final year in a place you know very little bit about. But I would think your trust was well placed in Coach Aker as you look back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, we were pretty much doing the same thing at the time. I know he's originally from Oklahoma, but he was coaching in Georgia. So we were both making the transition to Oklahoma, and I just felt like it would be a great spot for me.
What's your workouts been like? Because, again, it's been almost a couple of years since you last played competitively.
Yeah, so we kind of, with the situation that's going on right now, we're doing like small workouts, and then maybe it'll be 2 or 3 individuals in there. But, you know, I'm trying to stay as consistent as I can and just stay in basketball shape.
Looks like you put some weight on it. I mean that in a good way. Looks like you've been hitting the gym. Has that been part of your workout?
For sure. So I've had the time to actually be really consistent in the gym, and it's paid off for me.
I know nobody likes to see their playing career ended, but, well, you have to be glad you're not having to worry about when the season's going to start right now. It has to be frustrating for a student athlete.
Yeah, well, I have 2 my 2 younger brothers that play college basketball at Wichita State, and they're dealing with that situation right now. And we don't know how everything is going to play out, but we're just playing it by ear and hoping something can happen. So
when you come to Oklahoma Baptist, you were really thinking you were probably going to be more of a 2-guard. And when Rashad goes down, who transferred with Coach Aker from Mercer, you find out you're going to have to be the primary point guard. How difficult was that move to being on the ball all the time for you?
Well, I kind of did it at my former school, so it wasn't too hard of a transition. I think that what made it most difficult is that we had established that we would have another point guard alongside with me. And when he went down, of course the team suffered, but I had to step up in whichever way I could.
Describe how you felt like you played that 1 year at OBU, because you led the team in assists, steals, points per ball game. You had over 30 against Northwestern in a game. And as I mentioned earlier, you were named the Great American Conference Newcomer of the Year. Did you check off most of the goals that you hoped you could accomplish in 1 year with OBU?
Absolutely. And I'm just grateful to coaches and the school for giving me the opportunity to come in and be successful under their system. So
do you feel like you developed a lot, not only as a basketball player, but as a person, having been so far away from home for 1 year?
For sure. I mean, it's a different experience, and sometimes it can even be a culture shock. But, you know, I just tried to adjust in the best way that I could, and it turned out to be pretty well.
It obviously appears that OBU men's basketball is on an upward trajectory. I think we're going to look back, and you're going to be a big reason, a big building block as to why the program is going to be eventually where we want it to be. Mm-hmm. You came in, the program had been really struggling. You were picked last, finished 3rd of the conference, and won 16 games. That's a great testament to not only you as a player and your teammates, but Coach Aker and the way the program's being built.
Yeah, I think they did a wonderful job. Coach Aker came in with the vision, and he wanted to turn the program around, and he did just that. So, you know, we can't do nothing but applaud to it.
So you grew up hoping to play professional basketball. How does this dream shake out for you to head to Bosnia soon?
It's a surreal feeling. It's something that I've kind of envisioned my whole career. You know, a lot of guys would, you know, growing up, you kind of say you want to play here and make it to the NBA, but it's not as realistic as it, you know, sounds. But just to get the opportunity to continue my professional career and to play in Bosnia, I think it's going to be a wonderful experience.
Okay, I have to ask you, there's so many professional options overseas, and I think you've probably checked into many of them. Some of them are not good options. How
Mm-hmm.
did you settle, Antonio, on this league being the right fit for you at this point in your life and career?
Well, originally I was looking for a place in Europe. You know, Europe, I believe, has the best basketball outside of the United States. So as a basketball player, you want to get to Europe. And I got this opportunity that was in the top division, and I kind of just jumped on it. I knew it would be beneficial for my career.
How long have you been working on signing with this league? Because again, I think knowing you, there's been some research, there's been some homework done, not only on your part, but probably others around you to make sure this was the right fit.
Well, honestly, Todd, it was kind of quick. I actually had a relationship with this coach because I don't know if you guys know, I actually signed with the team last year, and they ended up losing their sponsor maybe a month or so before the season. So that kind of shut me out for that year. But me and this coach had a relationship, and it was able to propel to me joining this team in Bosnia.
Do you look back, Antonio, and say, hey, maybe this is where I'm supposed to be? Maybe that 1 year of disappointment, not being able to play in a league that I thought I was going to play in last year, is really going to turn out to be the best thing for me personally and professionally.
Absolutely. I just feel like that everything happened for a reason. So me missing that year allowed me to go back and really develop some things about my game, to develop my body, and to get myself more mentally ready for the opportunity. So it'll all work out.
What areas did you feel like, from a physical standpoint and from a basketball standpoint, you really needed to improve to be able to take your game successfully to the next level?
Well, I think mentally is always a level that you can go to and advance to. Skill-wise, I would say my skills took, they went up a little bit, but, you at this age, you kind of set with the skill set that you're going to have. You can improve and sharpen things, but my skill is just, what it is. And it's going to allow for me to go overseas and be pretty successful.
Obviously, you have the skills. Physically, you've got the ability to play. What do you foresee as being the biggest challenge for you moving from collegiate basketball at the Division II level to now playing overseas professionally?
Well, I think the transition is in the game style. I know that they play a different style from the United States, so I think maybe the tempo is a little bit slower, but it's a lot more physical. So I think I'll make the adjustments as the time goes.
Do you foresee that being any type of problem based on the way you've played and been raised in the United States to play a slower paced game overseas?
Not really. I've kind of dealt with a lot of different coaches and play styles throughout my career, so I think I'll be able to adjust, just fine.
You've been in several different places, as you mentioned. Do you feel like that from a basketball standpoint, but maybe an emotional standpoint, that's helped you prepare for this next step in your life and career?
Exactly. So just the ability to adjust and, make the best out of whatever situation that you're in. I think with me being so many different places, I'm able to make that transition faster because I know it's something that's necessary and that's going to be beneficial for me.
You set out last year, but you did a lot of personal work. How much did you get a chance to follow your old teammates? And if you did, that had to be pretty exciting to see them win 20 games and march on to the conference championship.
So I have pretty close relationships with all those guys, even some of the former guys that played with me and, are no longer there at OBU anymore. But I was pretty much calling after every game. I was just as excited as them. So I kept up with everybody.
Man, it's great to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do overseas. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you, Antonio. One of my favorites over the last couple of years, and best of luck to you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Antonio Wade, our guest here on this edition of Todd Talk. And if you've missed any of our prior episodes, don't forget you can find them on OBU Athletics' YouTube page. For Antonio Wade, I'm Todd Miller. We'll see you next time on another edition of Todd Talk.